welcome to another book review. And we are going to review And They Lived Happily Ever After by Therese Belle. Or Belle. I hope I didn't butcher your name if you ever by the chance see this, but there's the lovely cover. This book was cute. It was good. Don't get me wrong. It wasn't what I thought it was going to be. This was a book talk TikTok recommendation. And if I remember correctly, when it was suggested to me via TikTok, I fell in love with one of the quotes of the book, which I believe I saved the page in here. But the time I read this book, I had been reading a lot of spicy books, if you know what I mean. And this book was pure romance with a little bit of fantasy. So it took me off guard. Now, with that being said, I'm not saying it's not a good read. It was cute for what it gave. And if you are looking for something like that, then this book is a 10 out of 10. It's just the trajectory that I was reading and the theme of books I was selecting and picking it into. This book didn't fulfill me, if that makes sense. Like, it's romantic, it's cute. It's just I wasn't expecting magic. And there's magic in this book. Like, the first chapter, when they're discussing everything, because I don't want to spoil anything, when they're starting to, get into it and expressing things, it's about magic. I honestly put it down and read a different book. Because I was like, no. But the kind of person I am, if I buy it, I read it. I have to push myself to read it, to complete it. Because, you never judge a book by its cover. You never judge a book by the first chapter. You always got to push yourself at least to the middle. If you get to the middle of the book and it's still not giving it, then it's a done deal. You're just not interested in the book. But sometimes it's a slow burn type of deal where you just have to push yourself until the flame ignites. So before I go any further reviewing this book, I want to say what it's about. So the book is about two characters. One is an older woman by the name of Gaia. That's how I say it, but it's spelled Gaia. Gaia. She's a writer of bestselling novels, romantic novels, and she basically becomes interested in her best friend's younger brother, which brings me to Jacob Scott. He's a workaholic. He took over the family business after his mom passed. So basically his pressure and his focus is work. I'm going to sit here and, be the man of the family while my father's dealing with the loss of our mom. And I'm going to just protect the family and do that. That's my goal. So they've known each other since they were young teenagers, because Gia's always been friends with Jacob's brother. They've been best friends since then. Well, little did Gia know that Jacob was low-key, younger brother crushing on his older brother's best friend. So with that being said, the magic portion is everything that Gia dreams. It's magically written into her novels. So if she dreams it, like she can dream of a chicken flying across the street, she magically writes it into her novel, and basically it kind of low-key, like, she can feel it. Like, you know how when you dream something, you're going through it, but you kind of aware that you're dreaming? Well, for Gia, when she's dreaming, it's really her in the dream. Like, she can feel things, she can do things. She's aware that she's dreaming, but her body technically is in the dream, if that makes sense. It was a little bit confusing for me, to be honest, too, when I first read it, because the only part that I didn't like is things got confusing, because you'll be reading and then all of a sudden a scene will appear and you can't really tell if it's happening in real life or if it's the dream Gia. So I feel like that part could have been separated better. Another book I read kind of did something similar, but she separated where it was like reality, dream, reality, dream. And in this book, she blended it too much together where I didn't realize it was a dream until the end of the scene where she's like, oh, I woke up, it was a dream. I don't know if that's what she was going for. If she was going for that kind of perspective or narrative, then it worked. I thought it was a bit confusing because, like I said, most times I was like, oh, okay, so this is what's happening. I was like, oh, wait, no, so it didn't really happen? Did it happen? It was just really muddy waters. I also didn't like a portion of it where Gia and her best friend went months without talking because of a disagreement. I don't know about everyone else, especially for the level the disagreement was, how my friendship works. Like, I have a male best friend and I have a female best friend. And if we ever had some sort of disagreement, I'd want to talk through it and talk to them about it, not avoid each other, especially if you guys are the kind of best friends or the kind of relationship where you see each other often. How are you going to go 2-3 months without seeing your best friend like it's nothing, without a call or a text? I would be blowing up their phone, and it's happened with me where my male and my female best friends were blowing me up because they thought I was upset. I didn't understand that part, considering you had built up before this disagreement the kind of strong best friendship they had just for something minimal to happen and you don't talk to them, not even like a arguing type of moment, you just don't talk to each other. I just didn't buy that part. That didn't seem kind of realistic to me. But then again, there are all kind of different best friendships. But I thought that was kind of weird. Also, to trying my best not to spoil things, like how so quickly Gia let her guard down, even though, like, Jacob's her best friend's brother, that's not your best friend. So how quickly she let her walls down for Jacob in comparison to how much the older brother had to work to get her walls to come down as her best friend. I thought that was kind of weird because at the end of the day, they're best, like, you know, they're your best friend's your best friend. They should know everything about you. And I don't know. It just didn't make sense because I'm like, with my best friends, even for them to become my best friend, they had to work hard to get my walls to come down. And it just seemed like if I ever met one of their siblings, my walls wouldn't come down instantly to trust them just because that's my best friend's sibling, if that makes sense. And it was just weird how once she started, you know, entangling with Jacob in their adulthood, all of a sudden she's just telling him everything and anything. I was like, what? And then I don't know. And then maybe it just seemed it was just too fast because of how small the book is. I think maybe if she would have just elaborated a bit more and settled within each of the moments a little bit better, it would have just flowed. It just seemed like everything was happening so fast, like rapidly, that I was just like, whoa, considering y'all known each other for, I guess, your whole lives, this is too much. This is too much going on. But with that being said, if I had to rate it 1 out of 10, I would rate it like a 6 or a 7. It's definitely a good read. Is it my cup of tea? No. Would I recommend it? Of course.